Richard and Alex in an exciting adventure with Doctor Who.
Of course, we're all getting married, but there's another man, always, the Doctor.
The Doctor is impulsive, idealistic, ready to risk his life for a worthy cause. He hates tyranny and oppression and everything that is anti-life. He never gives in and he never gives up, however overwhelming the odds against him.
The Doctor believes in good and fights evil. Though often caught up in violent situations, he endeavours to remain a man of peace. He is never cruel or cowardly.
In fact, put it simply, the Doctor is a hero. And these days, there aren't so many of them around.
Thank you for this. Thank you for my life, for my wedding, and my husband.
By the way, did I mention, it also travels in time?
Have you ever thought what it's like to be wanderers in the fourth dimension? Have you? To be exiles? Susan and I are cut off from our own planet, without friends or protection. But one day, we shall get back. Yes, one day. One day.
You had to pick a Sunday, didn't you? Yes. You bring me back to boredom, capital of the world, you pick the one day of the week you can't even get a decent television programme.
What's so terrible about Stockport?
Nothing ever happens here.
Nothing but pitiless damnation for the rest of your lives. Think on it.
The two Silurians were now hot on the Packard heels, their big clawed feet making good speed along the cobbles. They kept glancing over their shoulders and squealing. "Barbarians!" yelled Jaquelian at the mob behind them. "You'd think it was the 21st century."
It is the 21st century, Sankey told them. Let's not have any of that Earth reptile pride rubbish. Let's just find a barn or somewhere and hide.
I think you've been listening to some very bad advice. Well, it's just possible you've been given a series of orders while you've been asleep. You know, do this, do that, do the other thing. My advice to you is don't do anything of the sort. Don't just be obedient, always make up your own mind.
In the end, we all want the same thing. An ordered society, with everyone happy, well-fed. What's best for global chemicals is best for the world. It's best for you.
Such as a little touch of brainwashing.
Freedom from fear, freedom from pain.
Freedom from freedom.
I can hear the sound of empires toppling.
Everything is history, if you look at it from the right perspective.
I used to think I'd never get married, but now I'm not so sure.
That was over 20 years ago. Why must you remind me? I offer you everything.
Still, the future lies this way.
Pardon my Sam, I may have had a bang on my head, but this is a dat queer story.
Oh, corks.
Why can't you talk normally?
Well, couldn't just be like everybody else.
Redvers has the whole universe to explore for his catalogue. New horizons, wondrous beasts, light years from Zanzibar.
Doctor, something tells me you are not in our catalogue, nor will you ever be.
What's that? Miles asked as she held the paper up. Piper remembered what the Doctor had told her and suddenly grinned. "Hope," she said, as the powder was carried away from them like a flurry of sparks upon the wind.
Now that's much better. I can believe that.
There was a sudden intensity in his eyes. Ace sensed that he wanted to say something. Mike offered her the bacon sandwich instead.
Vivian is making us some sausage sandwiches. Nothing like sausage sandwiches when you're working something out.
Personally, I've never seen the necessity for starting a meal with, what was your word?
Hors d'oeuvres.
Quite unnecessary in my opinion. 8 or 9 main dishes is quite enough.
Unlimited rice pudding, etc., etc.
The only other thing she could think of was impossible. Daleks didn't and never had eaten crunchy brown finger biscuits.
Let's try the pub.
5 rounds, rapid.
What do you want to drink?
What have you got? Asked Roz.
Hey, said the table smugly. You name it, we've got it.
In that case, said Bernice, I'll have an exaggerated sexual innuendo with a dash of patriot spirit and extra mushrooms. Roz?
I'll have the same, said Roz, with an umbrella in it.
Coming right up, said the table.
The sky appears to be reflective, Holmes replied, more hesitantly than usual. Perhaps, like Dante's In the Circle of Hell, we have ice above us. If you look closely, you will see a reflected glow from something over the horizon. The nearest earthly equivalent would be the lights of a town or city. He coughed. I am merely speculating, of course. It could be an incandescent chicken the size of the North Riding, for all I know.
Jamie, I'm being stared at. Is there something wrong with me?
Up here, do you mean, Doctor?
Is my hair in disarray?
No more than usual.
Do I look strange or bizarre?
Aye, well, maybe I'm just used to you.
You really ought to come and join me, Pex. It'll do you the world of good. There's nothing to be frightened of. Help?
Doctor, look, what here approaches.
Oh no, run! It is a Tardan beast.
We'll meet elsewhere. Now flee with haste. You go west, me east.
Exeunt on different sides, pursued by Tardan beast.
I imagine the whole business caused quite a stir.
No, the cabinet's accepted my report and the whole affair's now completely closed.
You mean it never happened?
Well, a 50-foot monster can't swim up the Thames and attack a large building without some people noticing, but you know what politicians are like.
And even if it did come after him, the Doctor wasn't too worried. He didn't have a very high opinion of monsters, however large or powerful.
Doctor, you're being childish.
Well, of course I am. There's no point in being grown up unless you can be childish once or twice. Are you coming?
Am I naked in front of millions of viewers?
Victory should be naked. Rejoice in it. Your body is magnificent.
Ladies, your viewing figures just went up.
Look, Brigadier, it's growing.
Look, Brigadier, look. I think it's started.
Here we go again.
Men out there, young men, are dying for it.
No! Freddy, no!
David said, well then.
Well then, said Chris.
At the far end of the street, hostile armed men came to party and 20 minutes passed.
Is that bang big enough for you, Brigadier?
No, the Sigmund experiment was a success! A brilliant, total success!
In many ways, we have the same mind.
Time's roses are scented with memory. There was a garden where once they grew, cuttings from the past grafted onto the present, perfumes that recall things long gone or echo memories yet to come.
Listen to me, both of you. I want you to remember. I want you to remember everything, every single day, every single second, because your memories are more powerful than anything else on this planet. Just think of it, remember it, but properly. Properly. Give the memory wave everything. Every planet, every face, every madman, every loss, every sunset, every scent, every terror, every joy, every doctor.
My father, Sidney, was watchmaker from Nottingham, and my mother, Verity, was, well, she was a nurse, actually.
Oh, you make such good wives.
You probably can't remember your family.
Oh yes, I can, when I want to. And that's the point, really. I have to really want to bring them back in front of my eyes. The rest of the time they sleep in my memory, and I forget. And so will you. Oh yes, you will. You'll find there's so much else to remember, to think about. Our lives are different to anybody else's. That's the important thing. There's nobody in the universe who can do what we're doing.
You know, when you're a kid, they tell you it's all grow up, get a job, get married, get a house, have a kid, and that's it. Oh, but the truth is the world is so much stranger than that. It's so much darker and so much madder and so much better.
Two birds circled in the sky above the Lincolnshire marshes. They were owls in love, as much as owls could love.
You ready?
If you are.
What? Well, I'd feel more confident if you just said yes.
Yes.
Good. Well, here we go then.
You look wonderful.
Ah. Well, you'd best give me some warning. Can you actually dance?
I'm not certain.
Well, there's a surprise. Is there anything you are certain about?
Yes. Yes.
Where do you think you're going?
Well, we'll have to find out for ourselves, won't we?
Happy days, my dear.
The happiest of my life, dear heart. Was ever such a potion brewed? In bliss is quenched my thirsty heart.
Ah. Very prettily put, my dear.
Oh, sweet favoured man, you have declared your love for me, and I acknowledge and accept your gentle proposal.
Oh no, they're not gonna. Oh, people are eating. Nobody over 22 should be doing that in public. Actually, not at all.
You see before you the complete killing machine, as beautiful as you and as deadly as the plague. If only she were real, I'd marry her.
You deserve each other.
Ah, and is not Grendel a famed coward?
Is the Archimandrite's hack not silly?
Why then, be gay, and deck the halls with spog. You shall have a husband, great or none.
If all the stars were silver, and the sky a giant purse in my fist, I couldn't be happier than I am tonight.
Indeed, Doctor, growled the master. I merely required some time to finish my experiments. I didn't anticipate the arrival of this maladjusted couple and their wedding plans. They have learned to be only mildly surprised when you arrive to disrupt my work. But this time, you bring a full platoon of unit troops, an Ice Warrior battlecraft, a couple of Time Lords, and Sherlock Holmes. You have excelled yourself.
I always dress for the occasion.
Already the Time Lords are gathering, donning seldom-worn robes with their colourful colour insignia, the scarlet and orange of the Pridonians, the green of the Arcadians, the heliotrope of the Patrexes, and so on.
The latest batch of guests included an upright four-armed blue elephant who was looking around nervously. Anyone else I know coming to this wedding? He asked.
Best wishes for your future together, but you will fall before the might of our invasion force. By the way, what sort of rings are those? Love, the cyber controller. Tell us.
Don't mind me, I'm just toasting the happy couple.
Now remember, enjoy yourselves. Happiness will prevail.
Build high for happiness.
I'm glad you're happy.
And I'm happy you're glad.
60 million robots dance through the streets of Milky Pink City. They've never been programmed with dance lessons, but what they lacked in style, they made up for with enthusiasm. All around, metal limbs twisted with abandon. Tall robots did something that looked like a rumba. Lifting robots did the mashed potato. And weaving in and out of their legs came the Doctor and Martha Jones.
For one vertiginous moment, the Dalek Supreme wanted to skip.
Just remember, the future. No looking back. That's our motto. We're heading towards a new life. Drive off into the sunset, the future, adventure, the open road, and whatever it might bring.
The Sphere experienced, for the first moment in its history, the glories of our full CinemaScope Technicolor sunset.
Just so that Chris and Depp could fly off into it.
So, what happens now then? Tell me what happens now.
In the mid-21st century, humankind starts creeping off into the stars, spreads its way through the galaxy to the very edges of the universe. And it endures till the end of time. And it does all that because on one day in the year 2014, when it had stopped thinking about going to the stars, something occurred that made it look up, not down. It looked out there into the blackness, and it saw something beautiful that it didn't want to destroy for once. And in that one moment, the whole course of history was changed.
Homo sapiens. What an inventive, invincible species. It's only a few million years since they've crawled up out of the mud and learned to walk. Puny, defenseless bipeds. They've survived flood, famine and plague. They've survived cosmic wars and holocausts, and now here they are out among the stars, waiting to begin a new life, ready to outsit eternity. They're indomitable. Indomitable!
In case there is any fear in your heart and doubt in your mind at this awesome moment, let me remind you that you take with us all our pasts. You carry the torch that has been handed down from generation to generation. The challenge is vast, the task enormous. But let nothing daunt you.
During all the years I've been taking care of you, you in return have been taking care of me. One day, I shall come back. Yeah, I shall come back. Until then, there must be no regrets, no tears, no anxieties. Just go forward in all your beliefs and prove to me that I am not mistaken in mine.
There are worlds out there where the sky is burning, where the sea is asleep and the rivers dream, where people are made of smoke and cities are made of song. Somewhere there's danger, somewhere there's injustice, somewhere else the tea's getting cold. Come on, Ace, we've got work to do.
The light on the TARDIS flashed like a bright idea. The TARDIS was on its way to new adventures.
It's far from being all over.
It's the end, but the moment has been prepared for.
It's a new beginning, and the moment has been prepared for.
Salud!